Why is it so hard to actually say what I feel?
Just keep it together.
Don't be too much.
Somewhere along the way, you learned to hold it in, to soften your truth, to shape your voice, to be easier to love. But your body knows, your voice knows, and there's a place inside you where nothing is forced, where everything real gets to exist. This is that place. Welcome to G-Spot. Hello, my name is Graciela Serena, and you are listening to G-Spot Podcast. And I forgot to say this before on episode 10, but we are in the double digits, y'all. Ooh! Those of you who have been following this, thank you so much for being here. I love you so much. I'm getting so much great feedback about this podcast. Honestly, I can tell that there's things in here that people really resonate with, and that, it seems to be helping people, which is the goal. And I am just so stoked about it. So thank you for being here. And if you're new, welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, it just makes me really happy. This podcast honestly has begun to really mean a lot to me, and I have been through so many other things. That's why I share my stories on here, why I'm personal. It's because I know what it's like. I really do. I know what it's like to feel lost in the patternings, to not really understand, to feel like you don't have a voice, you don't have a say, you don't have a way out of the toxicity or a way out of the cage that you have put yourself in. And so I'm rambling. I mean, that's kind of what this is for, right? But still, thank you. Thank you for being here. Let's get into the episode. So, I have kind of talked about my experience at a music festival, but I want to kind of go into it a little bit more because I think it's really important. And this episode is called The Woman in the Fire, and we're about to get into that and why this episode is important. And I say that about so many of the episodes. I know. But truly, these topics are such a big way for us to look at the things and maybe see a different perspective, or if we feel like we have the same perspective, shift gears a little bit and actually implement it into our life. Yeah. This actually happened. So there were downloads at the festival, but I want to go back before the festival of this vision that I saw. I was sitting in front of my altar, and that's a way that I pray and be with myself. And I celebrate you in whatever you do, or if you do anything at all, to connect to Source, God, Lord, whatever you want to call him, them, that, up there. It's all connected and I respect it. But what I do is I sit in front of my altar and I take a bath because I feel like that regulates my system. And then I get in front of my altar and I close my eyes, and I sometimes have some music in the background. But what happened for me was I saw this woman who was on fire and she was screaming. And it wasn't scary. It wasn't I didn't feel fear. I felt intrigue. And essentially, I've seen that before in Sedona when I did a feminine ceremony of this woman in the fire. And it was really feeling the pain of the ancestors before and of, all of it, which this might be a little woo to you, which is okay, but ultimately what I kept on seeing, and what I kept on seeing is this woman in the fire. And what came to me was that is my mission here, is to fuel your fire, is to fuel the people I love's fire, and to fuel my own, right? Because I think there's so many ways that our fire can die, and I am here to help with that. But what I also realize is that some people think they don't even have a fire. And I'm here to say that's just not true. We all have a fire, and it's never really dead. Hear me out, and let's really get into the episode, yeah? I feel like there should be like a little like interlude music, like dun 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 dun. Yeah, maybe not that. Okay, anyways. I want to talk about what passion is, right? Because we have fire, and that is affiliated, or can be, with passion. Passion can be affiliated with purpose and drive. And I think in societal terms, passion is like, there's a lot of talk of like, are you passionate about your work? Are you, what's your passion? And I think that it's so much more than that. It's life force. Like passion, when I think passion, I feel it coming from the root and like coming up, and I feel it like really just so alive, right? And I think passion can come with creating, loving, singing, dancing, adventure, curiosity, and the big one, desire. So I've noticed, like, sometimes I look around and I ask myself, are these people connected to their passion? Do they know what they desire? And the reason why I'm doing this episode is because I believe that passion is the fuel to your fire. If we live a life that is passionless, then we're probably not too happy. And the destination is to be alive. I think when we can start rooting into what we actually want and desire, we can really start coming alive. Ooh. I love just like coming alive. Don't you want to come alive? Don't you just want to be alive? Like, we're living, but are we alive? Oh, that's something to think about. Anyways, so why do we lose touch with it? There are many reasons why we could lose touch with this passion and aliveness and this fire within ourselves, right? We could have been told we were too much. We learned to be practical. We got hurt. We got rejected. We entered survival mode. We started performing instead of feeling. And one that I work in sessions, I mean, especially as a vocal coach, but in expression sessions as well, this is a huge one. And I can literally hear it in people's voices. It's crazy. Like, this is the bread and the butter of a lot of fire going out, which is that we got silenced. And that can tie into being rejected, or being told we're too much, or getting hurt, right? Like, those are the ways that we can get silenced. And I will say that, like, women deal with this in a really impactful way. And some it's been way more intense than others, but it's not a competition of like how we got silenced, why we're silenced. But I do want to say, men have this too. I mean, think of all the ways that society has told them to stuff down their emotions, to be, just the provider, like, don't break down, things like that. Like, men not being able to really, like, there's a lot of brotherhood out there that I have seen. Well, I've actually seen some really beautiful brotherhood, and I'm stoked about that. But growing up, I did not see that. I saw brotherhood that like took each other down and really like wasn't that vulnerable with each other. And that has a lot of impact. There's a lot of silencing in that. So I really, like, as a woman, I represent all the ways that the women have been silenced, but I think you hear about that more than men being silenced in this life. And just want to represent it all. All of it is welcome here at G's Spot. So I have been here, and I think a lot of people look at me and they're just like, oh, she didn't have to work at all to get where she is. She's just fiery and she's just who she is, and which I am. I have a Sag rising and a moon in Leo. A Leo. My moon is in Leo. My Mars is in Leo. My goodness gracious. That reminds me of the song by Lana Del Rey. And it's like, my Cancer's moon in my... I can't remember. Anyways. Oh, goodness. I'm on one today. So, yeah, there's a lot of fire, right? And for those of you who don't know what that means in astrology terms or anything, it just essentially means that I have a lot of fire in me. And Mars is a really big holder of that. Like, it's like passion and aggression. And Leo has so much of that. So it's very in it. But I have lost my fire multiple times in my life, have been in the abusive relationship where I didn't have a voice, and I fought, but I didn't really stand up for myself, because if I really did, I would have either gotten hurt or, I would leave that relationship. But obviously when we play out those patterns, I wasn't ready for that. And there's just many times where in that abusive relationship, my fire was dying because I was getting really beat down. I've also had this happen with music. I have gone in and out of music so many times in my life. Music is that one thing that it's an obvious calling for me. It's obviously something that I need to be doing, and I run away from it all the time. And I have. I'm no longer doing that. I'm not letting myself, but I have definitely run away from my music multiple times because that takes a lot of fire. It does. It takes a lot of fire. And I think there's ways to soften into it and to see music as that passion. If I start looking at it as business or a hustle or getting scared of what people think of me or anything like that, the fire starts dying. If I see it as my freaking passion and something that I am meant to do, and that no one's going to stop me, and I am this is literally my love, one of the loves of my life, then that fire doesn't die. It just keeps on burning and keeps on growing and keeps on getting bigger. And as we go, I make an empire that doesn't even need too much work, right? And it's all a balance. And yeah, speaking of work, I would say that my fire has died when I get really isolated and I start getting really into business and I lose connection. I mean, what a connection is necessary for humans. So when I have lost that in the past, I noticed that there's, I can feel my fire, but as a human, I need other people to stoke it too. I need people around me. And so when I'm on the grind, I can really just forget that. And then here we go, months later, I'm like, oh, wait, I miss my people and I'm burnt out. So I think there's a common misconception that passion arrives after action. Yeah, I think there's a common misconception of that. I feel do it before you're ready and the passion will follow. If you're getting the call to do that coaching program, or if you're getting the call to start voice lessons, or if you're getting the call to play the drums, if you're getting the call to go after that job, if you're getting the call to quit the job, if you're getting the call, do it before you're ready. Obviously, don't make it to where your whole life falls to shambles and you are just yeah, like be smart, whatever. I do what you need to do. But passion is not something that comes before the action. The passion is in it. It's when we're really in it, when we can stoke that fire, is when we really actually go for it. Dance first, sing first, create first, express first. Yeah. The passion is within the expression of anything that you want and love to do. And the fire will always follow that. I want to give you some practical tools that, like, in this day and age may sometimes be like, that's not practical. Like, I need a game plan. We're going to get out of that, get out of our own way. And I'm going to tell you some things that are helpful to tune in to stoke your fire. So, like, I love vision boards, okay? I'm not knocking vision boards. There's a time and place. But here's the thing about those types of executed plans, right? Think about times where you have done that, or maybe you don't even do it. Maybe you're not even in the vision board realm or planner or whatever. Maybe you just do, right? Or maybe you just procrastinate and don't do anything, right? So any of these regions, yeah? So the thing about this is that, are you tuning in with what you actually desire? Are you sitting with what you want? Before you go to that vision board, before you get the house, do the thing, before you do all these things, do you actually ask yourself what you want? Is it somebody else's want and desire? Is it what you think you want? Because I'll tell you right now that that's a lot of the society. We have a very big, and I am not knocking this. Like, I think I probably actually do want all of these things, but I've sat with it thinking that I didn't, right? But we have a trajectory that is school, college, marriage, house, kids, whatever, work, retirement, blah, blah, blah. So many times do we not ask ourselves what we actually want. You might be like, I don't know how to ask for what I want. I don't know. And I'm just going to tell you some things that you can do that will help. If you already do these things and you still don't know what you want, then don't act. It'll come if you keep allowing yourself to be in that space. Okay? And I'm not saying procrastinate all the time and be like, there's so many ways that you can be like, oh, like, it's just not here. Oh, I just don't want to do. Don't make excuses. But I want you to move, to dance, to sing, to scream. Go out and be in nature. Spend some time alone. Ooh. Maybe that's scary for you. I promise you, once you start getting comfortable with that, it's kind of the shit. And then ask yourself what you desire. The more action you take without taking the time to find out what it is that you desire, the more opportunity for burnout there is. Because if you don't love it, if you're not passionate about it, and you're going out and putting so much energy into it, like, passion fuels you, the fire fuels you. But if you don't want it, that's going to burn out very quickly. There's a time and a place to be in the masculine and to get things done. And you don't even have to call it the masculine energy, right? That's how I see it. However you want to see it, there's a time and place for order and getting the things done and making action. But this is for all genders, all people. We're polarized for a reason. We all have our sides that's get things done, and then we have flow, right? And maybe we're more in touch with flow. Maybe we're more in touch with this. But your body and mind are a map. Specifically your body. And they're a map to a deep treasure of the life you're dreaming of what you want, of what you desire. So listen to it, use it, be with it. The fire isn't asking to be found. It's asking to be fed. I guarantee if you go stoke your fire, whatever it may be, go to a community circle, go sing, go dance, go play a sport, go do something that fuels you specifically. That'll feed you. You don't need to find it. It's right here. It's right here. You got it, boo. You got it. Go stoke your fire. It's waiting for your attention, your expression, for you to stop asking for permission and to actually start listening. Start listening and start fueling your fire. Okay? Okay. I love y'all so, so much. Thank you for being with me. And I really just want to reiterate that you may listen to this episode and be like, okay, Graciela, like easier said than done. Your Mars is in Leo and you're a firecracker. And like I said before, I've lost my fire countless times. I've had to refine my fire countless times. It is not impossible. And it is not dead. It's waiting for you. So go stoke it, go fuel it, and go be the best you can possibly be. Because in this podcast, we are alive. We are alive and we are free. See y'all next time. Mwah.
Thank you for listening to G-Spot, where your truth turns you on. This isn't just something you listen to. It's something you live. So take what landed here and bring it into your next conversation, your next boundary, your next moment of truth. If you're walking this path and want to go deeper, find me on Instagram at Graciela Serena Music. You can find more information on how to work with me below in the show notes. And if this resonated, let it travel. Share, comment. I would love to hear from you. But most of all, remember, your truth isn't too much. Your voice isn't the problem. Stay there, in that place where it's real. I'll see you next time.